Today we're going to talk to Reeves Complete Auto Center. We're talking to Dave Reeves of Reeves Complete Auto Center, and we're going to learn a little bit about taking care of that vehicle, that great big thing that gets us from here to there. Hello, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I would love to talk to you a little bit about, first of all, brakes. I'm one of those people that I drive till I see the lights and, oh dear, now it's time to go in. But I'm sure that's probably not the best thing I could be doing. And brakes can be expensive, so maybe walk me through some ways to spend less money on my brakes and how to take care of them.
Well, brakes can be expensive if you don't get them serviced when they're supposed to be serviced, which basically you have a couple warnings. You have a indicator tab that's on a lot of the back of brake pads that will actually touch the rotor, which is giving you a minimal brake pad awareness.
Is that what turns the light on the car?
No, what turns the light on the car is usually a low brake fluid level, which is going to be caused on either a master cylinder leaking, when you have a rear drum brake car, a wheel cylinder could be leaking, and or a caliper could have low brake pad wear as well, and the piston has actually come out of the caliper, protruded too far, which is producing more fluid to open that piston, which is going to create less fluid in the master, which is going to trip the light. Normally, the master cylinders have a brake level warning sensor that is in the master, and that's what's actually indicating that you need a brake service.
So if we pay attention to these things and the brake pads and all of that'll prevent us some big expenses later, right?
Correct. Yeah. You get a lot of times where if you run it too long, the O-ring, there's O-rings on the pistons of the brake calipers, which is a hydraulic portion of your braking mechanism. If they get exposed to the air, you're all done, because now we end up having to replace the caliper as well because they get dry rotted. So it's best to listen for the indicator. You're going to hear a squeal. Now you'll also get a squeal if you have a lot of downhill driving and you're on the brakes really hard. You could have really good brake pad wear still.
Right.
50-60% material left. But unfortunately nowadays with brake pads, the material they use, they work really hard on trying to refine it so that we don't have squeals, depending on the type of brake material you use.
Oh.
You got ceramic and or semi-metallic, but if you live in a downhill area or you do a lot of downhill driving and you're on the brakes a lot, if they get overheated, it's going to take that material and embed it back into the rotor. So now you almost have like a metal on metal sensation.
Oh, we don't want that.
Right. Well, some people come in hearing that and they think they need brakes, when in all actuality is we can tell that A, they have been overheated, and B, there's a lot of contaminant embedded into the rotor. So a lot of times I'll give the customer the option of either A, to machine the rotors and use the existing pads.
Right.
We deglaze the existing pads so they're not paying any material or any money for material.
Okay.
And then we'll just do a resurface on the rotors. I have a very sophisticated on-car brake lathe made by ProCut, which basically bolts right up to the hub on the vehicle, and it will not start machining the rotors until it's got less than 0.6 of a thousandth run out. Brake run out is really critical also. If they get hot, they'll get warped. You get a shimmy in the steering wheel.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times if the rear rotors are warped or the rear drums are out around, you'll get a shimmy in the brake pedal. Sometimes it comes both, but you can be your best friend in regards to the braking scenario of your car if you just listen and know when the indicator light comes on, that means you have a problem. It's not just coming on just because.
It's about safety and money, because really,
Correct.
This is the kind of thing that's going to prevent you from being in the, and I watch people do it. I watch it all the time, where they tailgate and they're just a little too close, and boy, you don't have a lot of stopping time. And if you've got faulty brakes, well, there you go.
Yeah, you just hold your breath and know you're going to be in an accident.
And that squeaking, I hear it sometimes. I'll be at a stoplight and I'll hear someone pulling up, and I'll think, oh, what is it? So that's probably could be their brakes.
It could be the brakes.
But when you hear it in your own car, get it in.
Right. It could be that they're failing, and or as I explained a couple minutes ago, they're just really hard and the material is coming apart. Let me rephrase that. That's not coming apart, it's the improper word. That they've gotten them hot, and that's what they're experiencing is just a squeak from that. Yes.
So they want to come and see you, right? Mr. Reeves?
Yes.
Reeves Complete Auto Center. You can call them at 252-1400. They are located on Ruether Avenue in Canyon Country, 26821 Ruether Avenue, Unit G. You can also find them. Their website is reevesservice.com. And again, this is something that can save someone a considerable, well, not just money, but heartache to keep on top of those brakes.
Right. What I'm doing now for new customers, it's good that you brought that up. Every new customer comes to my shop now, I offer at no charge, a preventative maintenance inspection. Takes us about 20 minutes. All 4 wheels come off. We check the brakes, check tires, check hoses, check belts, everything, and advise the customer what we find. That is at no charge. And basically that is make sure that your car is roadworthy.
And here in Los Angeles, we are car culture. This is
Correct.
how we get around. It's an expense.
And we don't have any traffic here either.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're talking to the wrong girl. I see that traffic. But the idea that it's a very expensive thing to own a car, take care of a car, but it's more expensive if they don't come to you. And the idea that you're offering this as, a free service
Right.
to be able to know what's wrong with your car and
Right.
take care of things before it becomes
Correct.
a terrible expense.
That's the whole premise of why we do this now.
Now, you've been in the automotive business for a while,
Long time.
and you've seen probably the worst of the worst of the worst. When you see your customers, your repeat customers come in and take care of their vehicles, that has to give you some sense of satisfaction,
yeah.
like a doctor who takes care of your family.
Right.
So having people come in and take care of that. Now, if someone were to come to you, do they have to have a certain kind of car? You look at all
No,
cars?
I work on just about everything.
Just everything.
Yeah.
This is a very good thing. All right, so the steps to spending less money on your brakes so that you and have this preventative, walk me through again. You're listening for the squeak,
Correct.
and you're looking for
Warning light.
the warning light.
Yep.
And
And obviously, with the warning light, you're going to get a low brake pedal. Pedal's going to get mushy if the vehicle runs out of brake fluid. Not necessarily runs out, but the brake fluid level is getting low.
but that's one of the first things you should be looking for.
Correct, yeah.
And that shimmy you talked about.
Correct. Well, shimming the steering wheel, we get a lot on a lot of my fleet stuff that are in the hills a lot.
Right.
And then, as I stated, the general public, when they live on a hill or they do a lot of downhill driving,
We have a lot of hills in Santa Clarita. We have a whole
Correct,
area called
correct.
Canyon Country. Got
Correct.
lots of hills.
Yeah, when you're driving a standard automobile, in other words, a stick shift, I used to do it all the time. Use the transmission to help slow the vehicle down.
You don't do that now.
No, you do.
You do it?
Obviously, with a stick shift, you do because it helps the brakes.
You were controlling it.
Correct. Yeah, you don't do that in a regular automatic vehicle. You're not using a transmission.
Your brakes are taking care of
The
you.
brakes are taking care of
But
you, correct.
in order for you to take care of your car, you have to take care of your brakes.
Correct, yeah.
And be aware of that.
Right.
Oh, very helpful. Again,
Maintenance prevents major repairs.
it just makes sense.
It makes sense, yes.
And you want to see Dave Reeves at Reeves Complete Auto Center. Again, you can find their website at reevesservice.com. Their number is 252-1400, and they're located in Canyon Country at 26821 Ruether Avenue, Unit G. Stay with me. We're going to do traffic, and then when we come back, we'll do a bit of business and talk to Mr. Reeves about air conditioning.